Hey, welcome into Inside Toppers Baseball. I'm Cody Shook alongside Coach Burkle, and we're going to be recapping the West Virginia Wesleyan series, Glenville series, previewing Charleston, Ashland, and West Virginia State for this upcoming weekend. So we're going to jump right in here, and Mike Adams was the player of the week for this weekend. He had 7 hits, 4 RBIs, 3 doubles, 1 home run, and 3 walks. Can you touch on him and the rest of the hitters for this past weekend?
Oh, just on Mike. Mike's. I had another coach ask me during the game, "Did you ever think at this point of the year that I would look at you and say that Mike Adams is our leading hitter?" And I laughed. But Mike's done an excellent job. Mike's worked his butt off. So, a little surprised at Mike leading the team in hitting right now. But he's made a couple promises to me in the past 24 hours that some things that happened this weekend won't happen again offensively. So.
Alright. And then pitcher of the week was Greg Sagani. He threw a complete game, 9-inning, 1-hit shutout with 14 strikeouts. That's pretty big. Well, what about him is getting better each week? Can you just talk about him and the rest of the pitchers?
Physically, there's nothing wrong with Greg. Mentally, sometimes he gets a little tentative or soft, but this was the weekend that he decided he was going to shove it up somebody's butt, and he did. So I think that was probably one of the best games I've ever seen pitched. He was perfect through 6 1/3, I believe. The next 2 runners got on meaningless, and then he was in complete control. That was the first time, especially this year, that I felt we're in control. No matter how many runs we score or we don't score. 1 run was enough that day, but Greg did an excellent job, that's for sure.
And he did win MEC Pitcher of the Week, so that's pretty cool.
Yes, he's sharing that with
the kid from Glenville.
Oh, the kid from Glenville that beat us, yes.
Yep.
Stauffer, yeah.
Yep. All right, and then, so West Virginia Wesleyan, we played them on Friday, right? And we won both of those 8-3, 2-0, and Smitty earned his 5th win of the year. Can you talk about the West Virginia Wesleyan series?
Well, Wesleyan ran into the buzzsaw. They got Smitty and Greggy. They got our 1 and 2, and those guys put the work in. Every time they touch the ball, touch the mound, they're ready to play, and it shows. Our 1 and 2 are as good as anybody in the conference, and Wesleyan just happened to run into a buzzsaw.
All right, now I know you're itching to talk about the Glenville set there for 2 games on.
Itchy?
Yeah, you're itching to talk about it on Saturday. So we lost the first one 0-2, and we lost the next one 10-9. So in 13 innings, can you talk about those games?
Saturday wasn't about the games for me, as you guys know. That was the prep leading into those games. Had Coach Burkle a little disgusted. BP was at 10:30. At 10:28, we didn't have everybody here. Bases weren't in yet. There was nothing. At 10:30, I'm in the clubhouse. There's still 1 player there. After 11, there's 1 player not even here. He's still sleeping. It was that day when you knew the better team was going to put it on you, and they did. Glenville's a team that does everything right. They're not the best athletes in the world. He doesn't have the greatest ball club in the country, but they do everything right, from recruiting to putting on their uniform to taking everything serious, and you just knew that they were going to beat us 2 games that day, and they did.
Yeah, and Glenville was pretty hot. What did they do? They split with Shepherd, swept Fairmont, split with Jesuit, and then came in and beat us in 2 games. So they were pretty hot coming in.
Yeah, Coach Mullins has it figured out. I said that last week. He's a motivator. He can take a ball player of any caliber and let them win baseball games. Now, don't get me wrong. He's got some good athletes. He's got some ball players. Some of them are young, but he's getting what he can out of them right now. And right now, he's leading the South. And the more power to him, because he just shoved it up our ass on Saturday because they do the little things right.
And you said to us after the game that they do all the little things right, and we're going to get back to that. We're going to start getting all the little things right. So what are we going to be doing different?
Well, I can guarantee you today at practice, there's going to be a few guys that don't have their practice gear, because I've had it for weeks. They've left it in the dugout. There's 2 guys I know that don't have practice pants, and I don't think that they'll be with us at the end of today. There's a few guys that don't have gloves that I've had for weeks that probably aren't going to be here at the end of today. It's getting old babysitting college-age kids for me. It's time to start cutting our losses, tell them to transfer somewhere else, and just get out of our program. When a recruit comes here, you know, part of my speech is I tell their parents I'm harder on them about life than I am about baseball. So today some kids are going to find out about life and what it's like to not be part of this program.
Now, how do you feel sitting in the number 2 spot in the North and currently 8th in the region? How do you feel about that with where we are almost halfway into the season?
I don't mind where we're sitting right now. I mean, we're only 8 games into a 32-game schedule, so it's still a grind. You know, physically it's taking its toll on me a little bit. Mentally, it's definitely taking a toll on me. But I think as far as the team goes, we're fine. We're right where we want to be. You know, a big thing for us this weekend is we're going down south to a better Charleston team, and a split is obviously all I'm looking for. If we sneak out of there with 2, great. And then when we get State here at home this weekend, anytime you can split with a good team, that's a good afternoon. So that's the goal.
All right, and then we play Ashland tomorrow at Ashland. Can you just talk about them? What kind of ball club they have up there? What we're doing to prepare today for tomorrow?
Ashland's always good. I mean, I think they're probably 4th or 5th in their region. They're in, I believe, the Midwest now. But they always have arms, you know, and they're always good offensively. We're going to get up there and have our hands full because we're going to throw some young guys out and maybe go through some lineup changes for a midweek non-conference game. A little bit to send a message, a little bit to see if maybe we're not missing something with some of these young guys that aren't getting a lot of time.
All right, and then we go down to Charleston on Friday. They're 7-15 overall, and they're 3-5 in the conference. We've already played them twice with Greggy and Smitty pitching. They both won. So what are we doing this time to really try to take 2 and get this season sweep?
Well, first of all, we're starting off with 1 and 2 again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not a big fan of moving the rotation around to get to certain people because Mother Nature always has a tendency to screw that up. So, fortunately for us, you know, Mark and Greg are going to go 1 and 2 on Friday. We get a day off, and then on Sunday, as of now, we're going to stick with Yale and Sean, but we're gonna see where their heads are after today. But Charleston's a team we have to go after pitching wise and let Mark and Greg do their thing, and hopefully our offense decides to put a couple runs on the board.
Mm-hmm. The last time we played them, we put up double-digit runs in both games, correct?
Yes.
Just something like that. That was when the hitting really started to get going. Then we played Glenville the next day, and we put up a lot of good numbers. So now West Virginia State, we haven't played them since 2014. They're 10-8 overall and 5-3 in the conference in the South, and I think they're number 2 behind Glenville. So what are we doing to prepare for them? What are we expecting from them?
Well, they have a ton of arms, I can tell you that. Their pitching staff has always been pretty good. They have their closer's been, I think, first team all conference for 2 years. Offensively, State's always good. They can always hit. I've heard some other coaches say that they're not as good offensively as they have been, and I don't believe that. I think it's just a matter that they haven't played a lot of games yet. You know, I think they've played the least amount of games in the conference. And once they get up to speed, and it'll probably be against us. I mean, now that we're a team that, you know, we've made the tournament 3 years, people come to play. The advantage for us is that we get to play them here. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they're going to come swinging it. We know they're going to throw it. You know, they have plenty of arms up there in the 90 range, and they're going to come after us.
All right, so this year we're playing a 7-inning game and a 9-inning game. Do you like that, the difference from that last year as opposed to 2 7s, now 7 and 9? Do you like that different or better or worse? What?
I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. I mean, we've run into some issues already with lights or sunlight, I should say. We come to find out in the middle of that first series that if you start late, it goes back to a 7. Well, what's late? For us, late could be 2:30. For a school like Jesuit, there is no late. They have lights. So we need a little bit of clarification there. But as far as 9-inning games go, I don't mind them. I mean, they're fine. They give our guys some more at-bats, some more innings, more chances to get into the postseason recognition stuff. It's just a little weird the way it's set up with a 7 and a 9, maybe. You know, if the first one goes extras, then it goes back to a 7, or if you feel you're late, then it goes back to a 7. We just need to probably straighten that up. But overall, these first 2 weekends of split conference play, I thought they went fairly smooth. We had a couple questions, as everybody did, but it seemed to work out pretty good playing the teams in the South once.
Alrighty, well, that'll do it for this episode of Inside Toppers Baseball. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @ToppersBaseball for live updates on games and when we'll be posting new YouTube videos.